And what about as a pro? Well, see, that's where he would need performance-enhancing drugs to be at his maximum. Coach Greg, in breaking news, Russel Russ Swole on Instagram, going to be competing in bodybuilding and more specifically, classic physique. And in case you don't know, for classic physique, you can only weigh so much for your height. And I wrote him to get his height and his weight, and guess what? He's exactly the same height and weight as Coach Greg. 5'6", 193 pounds, and as an amateur, his weight cap, 175, but as a professional, 185. And so he's only 18 pounds above his weight class. And so I do believe he'd have no trouble making that weight limit if he gets to, say, 5% body fat with peak week cutting water, no problem. Then he could add an additional 10 pounds as an IFBB pro. The question is, would he be able to turn pro? What do I think of his physique, and how would he do as an IFBB pro if he decided to compete in the professional ranks? If you're liking this video, press the subscribe button right now. Back to the video. And is the guy natural? Well, that is up for debates. Many people assume can't be natural because guy has so much muscle and lifts incredible amounts of weight. World champion powerlifter. Done a natty or not in the past. First glance thought, no way is this guy natural. Showed my girlfriend Allie, said, no way is he natural. However, I do believe he is in fact 100% natural. He competes in a drug-tested federation, can be tested at any time throughout the year. He's a world-class competitor, and so he has to expect that he's going to be tested every single year. He always passes, and so you have to assume guy 100% natural. I think he has the best physique in powerlifting, and that includes Coach Greg himself. Believe he has a better physique than I do, and he's 100% natural while I'm on HRT. And he sent me a posing video of which I'm going to critique, tell you his strengths, weaknesses, what does he need to improve on, and at first glance, leaning over the bench, look at the size of this guy. The guy has a ton of muscle in all the right places. Massive shoulder, arms, traps, chest, and a six-pack. And this is his off season. Unbelievable. And even before hitting the pose, just standing there, look at the size of this guy. The arms, shoulders, traps, the chest, the six-pack. Unfriggin' believable. And hitting the front double biceps above the delts. Finally, a guy doing the pose correctly. A tiny waist, clearly visible six-pack, muscles everywhere. Great quads, doing the pose picture perfect. Look at the grace as he transitions from a front double biceps to standing on the side. Guy can pose, you can tell, and it's only been 5 seconds. And he starts by hitting the calves. Poses are done from the ground up. Calves, little weak, but hey, it's classic physique. The guy's not going to lose an IFBB Pro card because he doesn't have huge calves. And what about the legs? Great quads and a hamstring that seems to hang. Guy has tons of muscle in the lower half. He extends the arm. Look at the horseshoe. The meat on this guy's tricep. This is a guy with tons of muscle, certainly not weak in the arms department. And as he hits the side chest, the first thing I see, look at the drop in the hamstrings. Look at the meat on this guy. Next up, the chest looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Lots of size, great side chest, massive arms and shoulders. Great pose. So far, not much to pick apart. And there he is, hits the classic Arnold pose. Could have the arm a little bit higher. That bicep should be extended outwards, should be more prominent. But hey, clearly shows a lot of mass thickness in the chest and upper arms. Transitions to the back, hits the hamstrings and calves, and you can see calves not so large, but clearly has developed enlarged hamstrings. Not as lean, carries most of his body fat in his lower half, but hey, this is the off season, doesn't need to be shredded. Looks to have about 12% body fat, very respectable for a guy's off season. Remember, this is a power lifter. And as he hits the back double bicep, look at the detail, the size, the symmetry, the V shape to the back. This is exactly what they're looking for in classic physique. And the one thing that really sells it for me is the fact that he has such a small waist. He doesn't have a thick stomach as you would expect most powerlifters to have. It's nonsense. Powerlifters, they're not all floppy, they're not all fat, force-feeding calories, eating 5,000 calories a day. This is a guy with an amazing physique, clearly defined six-pack, 12% body fat, and this is his off-season. And he deadlifts and squats well over 700 pounds. Look at the guy's physique. And so what do I think of this guy's physique? Well, if you can't tell, I think it's outstanding. I think this guy on his first attempt could get an IFBB Pro card. But remember, he's 27 years of age. He's been training his entire life. Training harder than last time. He walks the walk, talks the talk, not only looks strong, he is strong. Looking at this guy's physique, no wonder he can lift the weights he does. And so how do I think he'll do at his first competition? I think he will absolutely dominate the competition. I think he will win by a mile. I think he can get his IFBB Pro card 100% natural. That is rare. A guy with a physique with genetics this good, he can do it natural. He could literally turn IFBB Pro as a natural. And what about as a pro? Well, see, that's where he would need performance-enhancing drugs to be at his maximum. As it currently stands, shredded the way he would need to be, as Brandon Harding was, probably need to lose close to 20 pounds. Would be into the lower 170s. But as an IFBB Pro, he could weigh 185. Guy's 27 years of age, been training his entire life. He probably has 5 more pounds of muscle he can gain, 100% natural. But when you compete, it makes it that much more difficult to maintain that muscle. As you get leaner and leaner, your testosterone levels will drop, and so it's going to be much more difficult for him to keep all this size as he diets. And so if he chooses to stay 100% natural his entire life, I do believe he can turn IFBB Pro, but I don't think he could ever win a professional competition. At that level, the guys would be so hard, so dry, so lean, with so much muscle, hard for a natural athlete to keep up. But if he were to use PDs, I do believe he could make it to the Olympia. Not win, but at least compete at that level. The problem is his genetics are so good that his body would want to outgrow classic physique. This is the kind of physique that would be a 212 competitor. And so if he were to ever choose to go to the dark side and take performance-enhancing drugs, I don't believe he would make classic physique. I believe he would be a 212 competitor. Imagine this guy, 212 pounds, 5'6", possibly a Mr. Olympia champion. He's 27 and a world champion powerlifter, and so I don't want him to take anything. I think he should remain 100% natural. But I am saying that if he chooses to, if he were to ever use PDs and put on that kind of muscle, which I do believe he could, think of it, if he's natural and this massive, what would he be on PDs? Remember Ronnie Coleman? The guy turned pro natural. And so those who become the biggest IFBB pros in the world, when they were natural, they're still massive. Even without the drugs, they would all be larger than life. Any top IFBB professional, if they had remained natural their entire life, no one would think they're natural. No one believe it. These are 1 in a million physiques, and 1 in a million physiques, when they're natural, well, they look like Russell. They look beyond what's possible for a natural athlete. And yes, this guy's an athlete. He learned to do a standing back tuck in 30 minutes on his first try. He's got hops, fast twitch fibers, easily builds muscle. And so if you think powerlifters can't make great bodybuilders, well, consider this. I was a powerlifting champion, became an IFBB Pro, did both. Consider Russel Orhii an upgraded 2.0 version of Coach Greg. The guy has an incredible physique, a lot more muscle than when I was natural, and I do believe he has the genetics to go very far as an IFBB Pro in classic physique. And if he chose to go to the dark side, certainly would make an imposing 212 competitor. And how do I think he would fare against the likes of Larry Wheels, James English, Brandon Harding? I actually think he would beat all of them. I think this guy has even better genetics than those that I've described, and he's natural. And so let me know in the comment section, you think this guy could turn pro? Do you think he's natural? Or is he duping Coach Greg? How would he do as a pro? Who would be the best? Brandon Harding, Larry Wheels, James English, or Russel Orhii? Hope you enjoyed the video. Ending it here. Looking for harder than last time supplements, including creatine, Ecti Builder, pre-workout, protein, powders, so much I can't list it on. Click the link in the description, use code GREG, G-R-E-G, 10% off. HTLT Sups or GregDoucette.com. Also, training books, cookbooks, Circle Diet Book, coaching plans by me and my team. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, and until next time, watch the bloops. I'm out.